What if the moment you take your last breath is not the end, but the beginning of something far greater, something beyond anything you have ever imagined? Picture a journey where the familiar fades away, and you step into a realm where time dissolves and the soul finds answers it has long sought. For many, this idea is both terrifying and mesmerizing, stirring a deep, quiet longing to understand what lies beyond life itself. If you are wondering what truly happens after we die, you're not alone. This mystery has haunted humanity for centuries, tugging at the edges of our fears, hopes, and beliefs. Today, we embark on a gentle exploration not just of death, but of the profound question, what comes next? When we think about death, the image that often comes to mind is one of finality, a closing door, a long silence. But what if that silence is not emptiness, but a passage? Modern science teaches us that death is a biological event. The heart stops breathing, ceases, and the brain no longer functions. It is a clear, observable process that defines the end of our physical existence. Yet this explanation, simple as it seems, leaves a profound question unanswered. What happens to the consciousness, the thoughts, the feelings, the very essence of who we are? Is it simply extinguished like a flame, or does it continue in some form beyond the limits of our physical bodies? This question becomes even more compelling when we hear the stories of people who have come back from the brink of death. Near-death experiences, those vivid, often life-changing moments reported by individuals who were clinically dead or close to it, offer a glimpse into what might lie beyond. Accounts from across the globe share striking similarities. A bright tunnel of light, a sensation of leaving the body, encounters with loved ones who have passed, and a profound sense of peace that defies explanation. These stories are not just folklore or fantasy. They are real experiences that challenge our understanding of death and consciousness. Could these be the shadows of an afterlife calling to us from the other side? Across the ages, humans have sought comfort and meaning in the idea of life after death. Every culture, every religion offers its own vision, a tapestry woven with hopes, fears, and faith. Ancient Egyptians painted detailed journeys of the soul through the underworld, while Christian teachings promise eternal life in heaven or the fires of hell. Hinduism and Buddhism speak of reincarnation, where the soul is reborn to learn new lessons. These beliefs, though diverse, share a common thread. The soul's journey does not end with the body. But are these ideas mere stories created to ease the fear of dying, or could they hold glimpses of a universal truth? Science, too, has tried to unravel the mystery. Neuroscientists tell us that consciousness arises from the brain's complex activity, so when the brain dies, consciousness should cease. And yet near-death experiences hint at something beyond brain function. How do we explain vivid, clear memories from moments when brain activity was minimal or absent? These experiences have been studied with growing interest, suggesting that what we call death might be more like a doorway than a wall. For many, the prospect of an afterlife is not just a theory, but a source of hope and peace. It encourages us to face the inevitable with less fear and more acceptance. It invites us to reflect on the meaning of life and what we leave behind. And for those nearing their later years, this question becomes deeply personal. How can we prepare for what comes next? How do we find comfort in the unknown? Near-death experiences offer some of the most compelling evidence that consciousness might continue after death. Dr. Raymond Moody, one of the first researchers to study these phenomena, scientifically described them as the first real proof of life after death. People who have returned tell of floating above their bodies, watching doctors trying to revive them, feeling a loving presence, and being given a choice to return or move on. These experiences often change lives. People who once feared death find peace and a renewed sense of purpose. Skeptics argue that these experiences are hallucinations caused by a dying brain deprived of oxygen. Yet the consistency of NDE reports from people of all cultures, ages, and backgrounds is remarkable. The transformative effect these experiences have on individuals, leading to greater compassion, less fear of death, and a deeper appreciation for life, cannot be easily dismissed. Philosophically, the question of what happens after death forces us to confront our own beliefs and fears. It pushes us to consider the possibility that life is a brief chapter in a much larger story. Whether you find solace in science, spirituality, or personal reflection, the mystery of death invites us to live more fully, love more deeply, and seek meaning beyond the material world. Ultimately, facing the unknown of death reminds us to cherish the present. Perhaps the greatest gift of pondering what lies beyond is a reminder that every moment is precious, and every life is part of a vast, unfolding journey. No matter what you believe about life after death, this mystery connects us all in our shared humanity, and that connection is something truly eternal. As we continue to explore this profound mystery, it is important to recognize how personal and unique the journey beyond death might be. Each story, each belief, each experience is a thread woven into the vast tapestry of human understanding. Some see death as a peaceful transition to a realm of light and love. Others view it as a return to the source of all existence, a reunion with something greater than ourselves. Still, some fear it as a final goodbye, an eternal silence that swallows all memory and meaning. The diversity of these perspectives tells us one thing clearly: the question of life after death touches the very core of what it means to be human. Consider for a moment the experience of those who have lost loved ones. Grief is a powerful force, one that can overwhelm us with pain and longing. But within that pain often lies a deep hope, the hope that those we love continue on in some way, somewhere beyond our reach. This hope, as fragile as it might feel at times, sustains countless hearts and minds. It whispers to us in moments of quiet reflection, in the soft glow of a fading sunset, in the gentle memories that live within us. Could it be that these whispers are echoes from the other side, calling us to remember that love transcends even death? Science, religion, and personal experience all offer pieces of a puzzle far too vast for any one of us to solve alone. Yet, in our search for answers, perhaps the most comforting truth is this: life and death are not enemies but partners in an endless dance. Just as the seasons change, so too does the soul move through cycles: birth, growth, decline, and renewal. The physical body may cease, but what animates us, our essence, our consciousness, may simply be shifting into a new form, a new existence beyond the veil of the known. In the quiet moments before sleep or in the stillness of meditation, many have glimpsed this possibility. They speak of a feeling of boundless peace, of oneness with all that is, as if their very being expands beyond the confines of their physical form. These experiences, while deeply personal, point to a universal truth: that our existence is more than flesh and bone, more than what we see and touch. It is a journey of the spirit, timeless and infinite. As we grow older, these questions become more pressing. The unknown of death can feel less like a distant concept and more like an impending reality. It's natural to seek reassurance, to find meaning that comforts the heart and eases the mind. Many find this reassurance in faith, the promise of reunion, the assurance of eternal life. Others turn to philosophy, embracing the idea that death is simply a transformation, a step in the soul's evolution. Still others look inward, trusting in the wisdom of their own experiences and intuition. Regardless of the path, one truth remains: the fear of death is often rooted in the fear of the unknown. But what if embracing that unknown with courage and curiosity could open the door to profound peace? What if accepting death as part of life's natural rhythm could transform our final moments into a beautiful passage rather than a frightening end? Stories of near-death experiences often describe a sense of unconditional love, a force so powerful that it erases all fear and pain. People report feeling completely accepted, embraced by a presence that sees and understands them fully. This love is often described as the most real thing they have ever encountered, something that stays with them long after they return to their earthly lives. Could this be a glimpse of the true nature of the afterlife? A reminder that at the core of existence is love, pure, infinite, and eternal. This idea resonates deeply, especially as we face the later chapters of life. It invites us to let go of regrets, to forgive ourselves and others, and to open our hearts fully. It encourages us to live in a way that reflects this love, to build connections that transcend the physical, to find meaning in the legacy we leave behind. Yet the mystery of what happens after we die is not just about what comes next. It is also about how we live now. Our beliefs about death shape our lives in profound ways. How we treat others, how we handle loss, how we find joy and purpose. When we embrace the possibility of life beyond death, we may find ourselves living with greater compassion, patience, and gratitude. We learn to cherish every moment, knowing it is part of a greater unfolding story. As we near the end of this reflection, consider this: death is not an end, but a doorway. Behind that doorway lies the unknown, a realm that has been described as terrifying and beautiful, mysterious and welcoming. What awaits us there may be beyond words, beyond understanding, yet it calls to us with the promise of transformation and peace. Whether you find comfort in the light of faith, the clarity of science, or the quiet wisdom of your own heart, the journey to understand life after death is a journey toward truth and love. And in that journey, we are never truly alone. Every question we ask, every story we hear brings us closer to the profound realization that what we call death is but a part of life's eternal embrace. As we come to the close of this exploration, remember that the mystery of life after death touches us all, whether we face it with certainty, doubt, hope, or fear. It invites us to look beyond what we see and to embrace the possibility that our story doesn't end here. Maybe, just maybe, death is a new beginning, a passage to something greater, something filled with love and peace. So as you go forward, carry this thought with you: life is precious, every moment a gift, and the connections we make, whether here or beyond, are what truly endure. When we open our hearts to this mystery, we open ourselves to living more fully, loving more deeply, and finding peace within. If this journey into the unknown touched your heart or sparked your curiosity, I invite you to join our community. Subscribe to the channel, and together, let's continue exploring life's greatest questions with open minds, open hearts, and a spirit ready to discover the extraordinary. Thank you for being here, for listening, and for sharing this moment. Until next time, take care, and may you find comfort and wonder in every step of your journey.